You know the scene. You're driving through Scotland, especially in the summer, and you see them everywhere. Camper vans from Germany, big lorries from Poland, tourist cars from France. It's great. But have you ever stopped to think, what on earth happens if one of them is in an accident with you? It can feel like an absolute legal minefield. Okay, let's dive in and sort through all that confusion.
It's a pretty scary thought, isn't it? An accident happens, you look over, and the other car has a foreign plate. Maybe the driver doesn't speak much English, and for all you know, tomorrow they could be on a ferry back to the continent. So, what are your rights? How do you even begin to make a claim?
Well, don't worry, there actually is a system in place for this. In this explainer, we're going to walk through it all. We'll start with the collision itself, then look at the international insurance framework called the Green Card system. We'll talk about the crucial role of the Motor Insurers Bureau, lay out the step-by-step claims process, and finally, get into what you absolutely need to do to protect yourself.
Right, first up, let's look at the moment of the collision. On the surface, it seems pretty simple, but the reality, well, that's a whole other story.
So here's the fundamental tension. On one hand, it's straightforward, right? The accident happened in Scotland, so Scots law applies. Your rights, your claim for compensation, it's all handled by our courts. But on the other hand, you've got this massive practical headache. Who's the insurer? Are they in Spain, Romania? How do you even begin to contact them?
And this really gets to the heart of the problem. These questions are exactly why this is such a specialist area. I mean, if the driver just goes home, you can't exactly serve them with court papers easily. And what about the nightmare scenarios? What if they were uninsured? Or even worse, what if they just drove off? It seems completely impossible, but thankfully, it's not.
So how do we solve this big international puzzle? Well, there's a framework designed for this exact situation. It's called the Green Card system.
This is the absolute key to it all. It's basically a big agreement between most European countries, and others too, that says, hey, your home insurance is valid in our country and ours is valid in yours. It means that a driver from France who's here in Scotland is covered by their French insurance for any damage or injury they cause.
But wait, how are you supposed to deal with an insurer in France? Well, you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. The system makes that foreign insurer appoint a UK-based claims representative. The best way to think of them is like a local embassy for the foreign insurance company. They handle everything right here on UK soil, in English, and under our rules. It's what stops you from having to get tangled up in a foreign legal system.
And just a quick word on Brexit, because I know you're probably wondering about that. While the legal plumbing has changed a bit, the UK has put equivalent arrangements in place. So for all practical purposes, the system of cooperation for EU vehicles is still up and running. That protection is still there for you.
Okay, but what if you can't find that representative? Or what if things get even more complicated? That's where your ultimate safety net comes in, the Motor Insurers Bureau, or the MIB.
The MIB is just absolutely central to this whole thing. First, they're like the information hub. You give them the details, and they help you trace the insurer and their UK rep. But, and this is crucial, they also step in for those worst-case scenarios we talked about. If the foreign driver had no insurance at all, or if it was a hit and run and you couldn't get their details, the MIB will handle your claim for any injuries.
The main thing to remember is the MIB makes sure you're never left high and dry. It's a guarantee that no matter what happens, you will always have a UK-based body to bring your claim against. They are the backstop that makes the whole system work and ensures innocent victims are protected. Okay, so we know who the players are. Now let's talk about how a claim actually works. What's the step-by-step process?
The whole thing is governed by specific UK regulations. It kicks off with you, or more likely your solicitor, giving the MIB the foreign vehicle's registration number. They then go and find the insurer and their UK rep. From there, you make the claim to that representative, who legally has to give you a proper, reasoned response within 3 months. If they don't, or if they can't find a rep, the claim goes straight to the MIB itself.
And this is the real magic of the system. It completely solves that problem of the driver just disappearing. By dealing with the UK rep, or the MIB, it honestly doesn't matter if the driver's back home. Your claim is handled right here.
But as you go through all this, there is one critical deadline that you absolutely, positively cannot afford to miss. It all comes down to a single, very important number: 3.
You have 3 years. Under Scots law, that is the strict time limit to get court proceedings raised. And all this extra hassle of tracing a foreign insurer does not stop that clock from ticking. This deadline is absolute, which is why it's so important to get things moving long before that 3-year anniversary comes around.
Okay, so let's finish up with the most practical advice. If this ever happens to you, what do you need to do right there at the scene and immediately after?
This is your immediate action checklist. First, get every single detail you can about the car. Then take photos, especially of the number plate. Make sure you report it to the police, get yourself checked out medically, and, honestly, contact a specialist solicitor as soon as you can. Given all the complexity we've just talked about, this is not something you want to try and handle on your own.
And I really cannot stress this enough. If there's a language barrier and you can't talk to the driver, this photo is your golden ticket. A clear picture of that registration plate, showing the country code, that's the key that unlocks this entire process. It's what allows the MIB to start their work and find the insurer.
So, let's just bring this all together. The good news is that Scots law fully protects you. But the journey to actually getting that compensation is like a complex international puzzle. The most important thing to take away from all this is that no matter how complicated it seems, you are never left without a UK-based entity to make your claim against.
And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. These safety nets are there. They're woven between different countries and legal systems. But knowing how to use them, how to meet all the deadlines, and how to actually make that system work for you, well, that's another matter entirely. It's a process where getting the right help from the very beginning can make all the difference in the world.